We are live right now on the Worldwide Sports Radio. Excuse me. We are live right now on the Sports Hit List brand. I'm so used to saying Worldwide Sports, but we are live on the Sports Hit List brand. Carl Coulange for the debut episode of Off the Top Rope. Thank you for joining us. This show will be dedicated towards pro wrestling, specifically WWE. I know we have a lot of WWE fans, so we do have AEW Injection, which you can watch on Thursdays, featuring Zach, Nick, and Christian. You can follow that on Thursdays, but we figured we'd have a pro wrestling show a half hour before Monday Night Raw kicks off, so we can recap what happened on Smackdown and also preview what's coming on Monday Night Raw. Again, I am Carl Coulange. Thank you for joining us. As you guys know, and for those who don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and especially specifically to WWE Pro Wrestling. I love it. Been watching it since I was 6 years old. So I want to share that with you guys here throughout this show. So there are going to be some laughs. There are going to be some arguments. There are going to be some debates. But we'll have a definitely an engaging show that can open your eyes to what WWE and what their product is. Some people are excited about it. Some people like the product. Some people hate the product. A lot of fans have been turned away from the product. So this show, Off the Top Rope, will definitely dive into all of those things. Special shout out to Nick Maldonado, who developed the name for us. He had the name for a project for one of my classes, for a Suffolk class, and he said, "Carl, you can gladly have the name for this show that we wanted to debut." So each and every Monday at 7:30, we will be here to discuss what's going on in the world of pro wrestling. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to introduce my contributors who are going to be joining me for today's special episode, inaugural episode of Off the Top Rope. We have Randy Louis from the Backstage Brawl joining us, and we also have Mike Murillo, the analyst, as well. So as they come in, again, we'll be talking some pro wrestling here. Randy's in the building. Randy, how you doing, sir? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Randy? Randy, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
How you doing, man? Welcome to the debut episode of Off the Top Rope here on the Sports Hit List. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. You seem to get a microphone. Everyone's getting microphones nowadays. Everyone's upgrading to the mics. I love it.
Again, I always say that you're the blueprint. So we're trying to catch you. So
I appreciate that, man. So this is the inaugural episode of Off the Top Rope, and the goal of this show is pretty much for us to discuss what's going on in WWE. Not again anything else that's newsworthy in pro wrestling, of course, we'll cover, but specifically more so WWE because we have AEW Injection, and we don't want to step on their toes. That's released every Thursday on the brand, so we don't want to step on their toes. So we want to basically focus on what's going on in WWE. I also have Mike, who's going to be able to join us. I want to start briefly with the news about Samoa Joe. Now, I know Samoa Joe, there were rumors that Samoa Joe is going back home to WWE. Is that definite? Because I heard Dave Meltzer reporting it. Is that definite Samoa Joe's going back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mike. How you doing, sir?
All right.
So, Randy, is that a definite for that right now?
That's what all signs are pointing to right now. With Joe coming back to the company. My fault.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah, it seems that all signs point to Joe coming back to the company. I had a feeling they were going to do that, considering the fact that since they're a publicly traded company, they had to reconstruct contracts to fit whatever numbers they were trying to crunch for I guess for this year's quarter and entering the new year for them. And obviously bringing back Joe was the right move for them, for me personally, because he brings a certain presence that is sorely needed. And it would have been a shame if he let go in the first place.
All right. Mike, what are your thoughts? You're a big NXT guy. What are your thoughts with what they're talking about Samoa Joe returning back to WWE in the NXT role capacity?
It's not 100% confirmed. It's coming out of Dave Meltzer's mouth. We can't always go by what Dave Meltzer says or really what Henry Reporter says when it comes to that, because you even said it yourself. You can't really. Aleister Black said it on his Twitch that 95% of the things that they say probably aren't true. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure if he's going to come back necessarily, especially because I think he wants to be a wrestler. I'm not sure he wants to be at that role already. Considering, sure, he's been in WWE for a while, but he hasn't really accomplished his full potential yet. So I don't know. I don't think it's 100% sure.
Well, listen, I'm of a man. I hate reading the dirt sheets. You guys know that. I'm more of waiting to see as it happens. But from the looks of it, it popped up on my news feed and throughout the wrestling circle and all these wrestling communities that I'm in that Joe is going back to NXT. It's what's best for business. And I think, I know we don't want to say it because it's not 100% confirmed, but chances are Dave Meltzer, he's usually on the ball based on sometimes when I read some of his stuff, which I try to avoid, but if I see it, I'll click it and I'll read it. He's pretty much on the ball with it. So
let me just say one thing about Dave Meltzer real quick, and I'll let you keep going.
Go ahead, sir.
He said that Will Ospreay is in the same level as Eddie Guerrero. Okay, so he's not all with it. That's why his credibility kind of lost with me, to be honest.
Well, listen. Listen. That's kind of an opinion as opposed to something reporting something, right? Like that's his opinion. Everyone's going to have an opinion. You may not agree or disagree with it. That's fine. But when you're reporting on something as the likes of Samoa Joe going back, and he's not the only source I've seen. I think PW Insider also reported it as well. So I'm going based off of like before I officially announce something, I usually look at other sources and say, okay, is this true? Is this not true? Looks like it's true because if other people are reporting it and if other news outlets are saying it, chances are it's true, right, Randy?
Find out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And sticking with NXT, how was in your house? I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm not really big on that NXT, but I know Mike, you are. What are your thoughts on that show last night?
You want me to bring the review show back?
No, if you can, if you'd like to. I mean, listen, I'm all for it, man. But just describe it for us in 2 words. What would you say?
Awesome. All right, that's all I could say.
Oh, he gave us 1. I asked for 2. He gave us 1. So Randy, it was great.
I can't.
Yeah, I thought I enjoyed it, and the copy for me, what I look for in takeovers is like something completely like unorthodox and completely out of the blue. And every time I see any takeover, I see how like the ladies sometimes outshine the men. Like they get after it, especially in the championship match. Raquel Gonzalez did a good job going against Ember, who's been an NXT vet for quite some time, and she's also had some main roster experience as well. So they made for a good match. The main event, man, it was let's just say everybody got theirs, and
it was awesome. It was awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, listen, you guys have been getting on my case about watching NXT. I tell you, there's only so much wrestling I can watch in a given week.
But I mean, you just have to watch it.
You're right.
I know. You're right. You guys are right. You guys have been getting on my case about it, and I DVR it too. It's just there's so much wrestling. Like after watching the dreaded Raw show that we watch on Mondays, then I got SmackDown on Fridays. That's already 5 hours in my week. I don't know if I can add another 2 hours worth of wrestling. I don't know. That's a whole lot of wrestling in a week for me.
Don't watch Raw then. Replace it with
That's hard. That's really hard to not.
I know.
To do. I know.
It's in our brains.
It is.
In our brains.
Do you know? I don't remember the last time I missed a Monday Night Raw. I don't think since I was a kid, since I started watching like the Attitude Era Raws, I haven't missed a Monday Night Raw. It's like, and that's been over 20 years. I don't remember the last time. It's tough. It is. I have watched, I think, every single Monday Night Raw since 1998.
Damn.
Yeah, legit. Wow. Legit. I don't remember the last time I missed.
That's 23 years. That's a long time.
I don't remember the last time I missed a Raw. So that's tough for me to. And you know what it is? My mentality is, if I miss a Raw and something big happens, I'm going to be mad. You never know. That's my mentality.
So you can't.
But Raw's been trash.
I know. I'm not going to deny it hasn't.
Raw's been trash.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree with you. It's been trash. But part of me is just like, I'm just waiting for that one time that something good. Like, again, it takes me a whole week to watch the show. Like, I can't watch the 3 hours. I'll finish Raw on Thursday and I'll send you guys a group chat. All right, I'm done. You know?
Yeah, you got to watch it in sections. You can't watch it all at once.
Yeah.
Listen, but you have to watch tomorrow night.
It's hard to consume.
Say that again?
You have to watch tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, okay. Tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night will be the best indicator if the rumors are confirmed. Because like I think William Regal kind of alluded to the fact that there might be some changes.
He's the last night.
Okay. So speaking of so let's shift gears and move to SmackDown. Let's do a quick recap of SmackDown, and then we'll kind of preview Raw, what's going on tonight.
The real A show outside.
The real A show. Listen, SmackDown has been absolutely from top to bottom. I posted this in the Sports Hit List Wrestling group. We have a specific wrestling group, and I posted this. SmackDown is the A show. SmackDown's been the A show for years, but I just love the overall booking of how they have storylines, and they have consistent storylines. Whether it's Cesaro and Seth Rollins feuding back and forth, whether you have the Intercontinental Championship with Cruz and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Big E, whether you have Bianca Belair and Bayley, And of course, you have, and even the Baron Corbin and Shinsuke, even though it's a little silly, it's still a feud, right? But the biggest one we all know is the Tribal Chief and the Usos.
Family feud. Family
The
feud.
family feud. And I know Roman gets a lot of the love here, but we got to give it up to the Usos, right? I remember a time where the Usos were, they came in with Tamina, two skinny twins who we didn't know what direction they were going. And look at where they are now. And it's just amazing to see how they can make that finally the family, the bloodline, the whole thing just work. And I think this is what Roman needed. And it just makes me more excited to see when fans come back in the building, how they're going to get the heat. And I think that's the biggest part of the show. And for those who are out there who are not watching SmackDown on a regular basis, tune in. Because every single week, Roman is cutting the fact that he just looked at Jay and he said, "Your own locker room," right? Like that's just gold.
But, I mean, it's not even that. I don't know if you guys saw the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
Little Dominic's not little, okay? Dominic is like taller than his dad. He's like 6'2" or something like that. That's what he looks like. But because he's skinny, it's easier. But I don't know if you guys got this. If you guys watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when he threw, I kind of got that feeling of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
No, because like when I saw Roman do that, like I saw a different side of him. Every week, he's like turning into this like mafioso type of boss within the Samoan dynasty. In the back of my mind is like me and a couple other people in different wrestling group chats. Like, and I've said this before, it's like Roman must have watched every episode of Power during the time that he was out, and then come back feeling like he's like James St. Patrick, because everything is so strategic. His movements, his manipulations is there. It's like you must have stayed and binge watched the entire Power series
to know,
and took Ghost and brought it as the tribal chief.
You know what? Somebody just put in the comments, special shout out to Tom Kenny. He said he believes this is Roman's being built to be the biggest baby face. Like, the fact that I don't know how that's gonna work, but I will say this though. It's fun, like just having conversations with other wrestling fans about what's the end goal with this whole Roman storyline. Clearly it's on everyone's mind is, okay, you have to bring in The Rock because they're family. It's the bloodline, right? And that's what everyone's hoping for, but how does it end? Fits. Yeah, that fits. But then how does it end? Does the Rock take the strap off of Roman? Does The Rock bow down to the actual tribal chief? There's a lot of ways you can go with this whole story. Again,
you know what's crazy? So, sorry to cut you off. You know what's crazy? The last thing you just said could actually work for both ways, especially for crossover appeal, because The Rock's already an attraction. He puts a picture on Instagram for a day, it's already 1 million likes. So think about this. What Carl just said just now. Like, if The Rock bows down to Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, do you know the kind of clout he has in Hollywood? He's already been in a movie with him with Hobbs and Shaw. So imagine that appeal. Because remember, ever since 2003, outside of John Cena, WWE has been looking for that crossover star. Daniel Bryan's more so, for the wrestling people like us, but not crossover enough to basically say, well, I want him in this and I want him in that kind of project. Since Austin and Rock, they haven't found that outside of John Cena. That would put Roman into a lot more out there.
And you know what? It's crazy because someone is saying, Roman, drops the title to The Rock. But again, do we want to see The Rock? The last time The Rock wrestled, he got hurt, number one. Number two, if that does happen, that means Rock would have to relinquish the title, and then you have a tournament for that's just a lot of work. It should just be The Rock loses the match to the Roman, puts him over, and then he bows down and says, listen.
He bows down and
says, and puts the lay on him and say, you are the rightful tribal chief of this family, of this tribe. I acknowledge you. And that's the best. That's the way I would at least book it.
And I kid you not, that would be like the first segment on Entertainment Tonight. Like the moment you get back 7:30, you see, Dwayne Johnson bows down to his cousin on live TV.
Yeah.
So
Mike, what do you think of that booking?
Huge.
Is that a good booking or is that fantasy booking?
That's just fantasy booking. I mean, he's just way too busy. There's no chance. He's extremely busy in order to do all that stuff, and not to mention he can't get himself hurt. He has contracts. He can't get himself hurt when it comes to movies and all that. It's fantasy booking at this point. I don't think people should really hype it. But we keep talking about Roman. Let's talk about Cesaro and Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Listen, that match, I'm curious to see. I'm sure on SmackDown they'll announce they're gonna have a match at SummerSlam at Hell in the Cell. I hope it's in the Cell because that feud has been great, and both guys are great workers. I love them both. I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. I love to burn it down. So I'm a walking billboard for Seth, and I think Cesaro is one of my low key favorites too, and I love him in the ring, and I think he's excellent, and I think he's primed to he should be in the Universal title picture. I mean, it's clear as bell especially for Cesaro.
It reminds me of 2003 SmackDown, like that little echelon where like everybody in every single level has something to do. Like everybody's being utilized. Like no one's gonna be waiting and catering. Like you want to be part of a storyline, any storyline from top to bottom, from Roman and his family to which now involves Ray and his family, to even the tag team scene with the Prophets and the Alpha Academy. There's so many things that tie everything together for SmackDown that a lot of the storylines write itself, which is why it's so fun to watch as averse to Raw. I do believe, like in terms of Seth and Cesaro, that's a match you could put in the Hell in a Cell situation because it's a feud that's built up for a majority of time of the year, and if you want it to blow up before something else. Because they're if it's not Cena, then Seth is supposed to be Seth and Roman quote for SummerSlam. I would keep them far away from the title.
As tweeners, you saying who's the face in that?
That's the thing, like because if not Cena, they're saying Seth, and I'm like, I don't know. That's something that you keep them far apart. And if you can't do Cena, the perfect person to do so, especially in Vegas, is Cesaro. And imagine the kind of pop they get in terms of that match. So this is the first time SummerSlam has been in a place where you can hold more than 20,000 people.
So years in like 30 years, because the last time I can remember is Wembley Stadium. That'd be the last one where they had it.
It's not going to happen anytime soon.
What's not going to happen anytime soon?
Cesaro becoming Universal Champion. It's not going to happen. He's an amazing wrestler. He will be IC champion before the end of the year, but it's just never going to be Universal Champion. They don't see the charisma in him that we do. They don't see it, which sucks. But it's just
they're actually building. They're actually building to that on SmackDown because I like the fact that rather than stopping that push, you're keeping the momentum by returning him to a storyline that's still fresh and hot. By the time he's done with that, Roman's the very next person. I like what they're doing with that.
Keep in mind, too, it sucks, though, but the draft, I saw that the draft is potentially going to be at the end of the summer, going into the fall. He could move over to Raw. And again, this is thinking next year, which we have plenty of time to discuss about winning the Rumble and going on to get his Mania moment. That's a possibility as well, too. So there are a lot of different, Money in the Bank as well. There's a lot of TK the Tank mentioned it. Money in the Bank, that's coming soon. I have to, Money in the Bank is coming shortly, where fans will be able to come back.
But you want to cash it in on the ladies' Money in the Bank?
Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's a briefcase. I could cash it in on the men's if I want to. It's still a briefcase. It don't matter. My briefcase is discolored. All right. I don't know what it's got going on, but the chosen one may cash in. I may cash in. You may see me make an appearance at Money in the Bank and cash in. I don't know. We'll see. Because I got my briefcase sitting here. I've had my briefcase for a long time, and that contract is sitting pretty for me. So.
Can I say something real quick? Because it's about SmackDown feud. It's great. Like even though it's kind of kooky the way they've done it recently with Corbin and Shinsuke, that rivalry should have written itself into the King of the Ring tournament.
Yes,
it should have done that.
100%. Yes, that's a missed opportunity. Yeah.
Instead of adding, and here's the thing, because I talked about this on an episode, like we just did a recent episode talking about the pay-per-view schedules, and that WWE needs more special shows from Raw and SmackDown rather than just all these pay-per-views.
Like NXT,
because it exhausts the storyline too much, and then if something doesn't work for a certain amount of period, you flip it, and then it doesn't really work or float into the next pay-per-view. So I remember there was never a pay-per-view right before WrestleMania. It was always that, okay, February you have it, and then you have the whole month of March to build up WrestleMania. And because of Fastlane, you only have a short time to build WrestleMania. And
I agree. Listen, I'm a big fan of the King of the Ring. Sorry to cut you off, Ring. I'm a big fan of the King of the Ring, and I thought that story was going to lead to that. That it was going to.
That's what I thought so too.
But it doesn't look like they're going. I don't know why they don't bring it. And I always felt like the King of the Ring gives mid carders the opportunity to put on clinic matches. The last time they did it, when I marked out when I saw Baron Corbin when they had that tournament. It was 2 years ago in 2019 is when they had it, right? Yeah, and they keep it consistent with the storyline. They should bring it back. And I think they should have the tournament. And I even think they should have a Queen of the Ring. It should be a TV
special.
Right. It should be a Queen of the Ring. You could even do a Queen of the Ring and to have them together. It makes so much sense. You have so many women who are not doing much. Have a King of the Ring tournament, bring it back, and have a Queen of the Ring. I don't know if we have to start a campaign, hashtag King of the Ring.
No. We patent this story, sell it to Vince, and he'll pay us.
Yeah. I think it's like, guys. Go ahead, Mike.
There's something SmackDown is missing. I will be right back to get it. Speak amongst yourself, because there's something that SmackDown is missing that I think would make it a 100% perfect show. I gotta go get my.
I don't know what he's going to get. Okay, you see,
I don't know either.
This is what happens on sports hit list shows. People have so many shenanigans and so many things going on. This always consistently happens. I don't know what he's going to get. I don't know if he's going to get the fist. I don't know what he's going to bring out here, but I'm curious to find out what he has up his sleeve. In the meantime, until he comes back, we have Monday Night Raw tonight. I know we've had that dialogue, and we said Monday Night Raw is not the best show out there. What can be? I mean, clearly, thank God this Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre storyline is going to be done after this, because I'm sick and tired of watching it.
It should have been. It should have been Kofi. Kofi would have been a much better storyline.
He should have, but I feel like this is what we call, I guess, a consistent feud. They're finally going to put it to rest, because they've been feuding since. WrestleMania, right? So they've been feuding since April. Yeah, they've been feuding since WrestleMania. Yeah, because Drew dropped the title to The Miz, and then The Miz dropped it to Bobby. And then since then, they've been feuding for it, which is okay. So now I understand. This is the final. This is it. Now going into Money in the Bank and into Summer, let's see who's up next in line to challenge.
It's crazy. It's crazy. As much as we're tired of the feud, this is the one feud that's actually went a year. And, aside from people getting putting their 2 cents in it, this has been the one thing that actually booked right since last year. Because around this time last year, they were feuding and Bobby wasn't going over.
Right.
Now Bobby is the guy. Bobby finally got over. So they've actually booked that storyline right. As much as we like to shit on crap on Raw, sorry. And crap on.
It's all good, man. Bad. Listen. I think we're TV 14. You can curse it up. It's all good. We ain't got nobody to worry about. We ain't got no sponsors over here. Go ahead.
Like Raw's been trash. So it's like that's one storyline they've gotten right for the entire year, and I give them credit for that.
Like I said, this is what it's missing.
What is it missing? Oh, the world title. Oh, you got the world title. So you're saying to change out the Universal Championship with the World Championship. That makes sense.
Yeah, I saw a crop of him carrying this, and it looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked awesome.
That's fair. That's fair. Sorry, better than Raw. Not Smack. Okay, I see what you're saying, Ed Molina. Special shout out to Ed Molina in the comments. Thank you, bro, for always supporting the Sports Hitless brand. We definitely appreciate you. Always pulling up and always having some feedback. But again, finally, this storyline is being put to rest. The only other interesting storyline that comes out of Raw for me is definitely RK Bro. And you can call me the corny guy out of it.
That's actually a good one too.
Like the whole dynamic of him closing his mouth and putting the key in and throwing the key out. You kind of see that they're building him up to become tag champs, hopefully, right? But then I feel like the heel turn is going to come at some point from Randy. I'm just waiting for that at SummerSlam. Yeah, clearly. But so for those two storylines, I guess Bobby Lashley for me, because I love Bobby Lashley, is keeping my interest. RK Bro. Those are if I had to pick positives out of Monday Night Raw, those are the only two positives for me. Yeah, that's it. Everything else is kind of like I could deal without. Mike,
it is hit or miss.
Mike, what are your thoughts? Do you have any positives coming out of Raw, or the whole thing is just garbage to you?
You know what? Man,
MVP can't do everything.
It's tough. It's tough because a lot of people say that it's horrible, but yet I'm the odd man out who believes that it's an okay show. Listen, I think Rhea Ripley's awesome. I love her. All right. I believe that Shayna, no matter what they do with her, she's awesome. And I love the fact that they're finally doing something with Ricochet and with Humberto Carrillo, because those guys, they need it and they deserve it. I love Bobby. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much, I love that. Those are the positives. But apparently, according to Vince McMahon, this is a big positive that we should all be excited for Monday Night Raw, especially tonight. Evolution. Okay. That's coming, and apparently that should be a positive for us. We should not moan or bitch about this. No, that is a new positive for Monday Night Raw. That's why they brought her back. All right, there we go.
Listen, I'm all about giving it an opportunity. I know a lot of people in the wrestling community are completely against this move, and they think she's going to be horrible. But give her a second chance. We'll see how she's booked. Clearly, I think Raw is lacking the women talent because Lacey Evans is out with pregnancy. The other women are basically on
maternity leave.
Becky's still on maternity leave. The other women are still, in that tag team title mix, would you say? But so the really only singles stars coming out of on Raw is Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka, if you think about it. And then now Alexa Nikki Cross, thank you. Nikki Cross too is in that mix. And then Alexa and Shayna are doing their own little storyline. But as far as in the title mix, it's only been those three consistent women. 4 minutes left, guys, before Raw kicks off.
Okay. I think they're building Nikki Cross to be something. I think from what I've seen the last couple of weeks, they're building Nikki Cross to be a very big baby face. I just hope they don't cheese her up, because even though she has a bubbly personality, don't try to ruin it to circumvent whatever you expect of her, even if it doesn't fit her character. So, but I think they're going to make her into something. I see that, especially from the women's perspective. It's more bright than the men's, I'll tell you that much. So,
So, do you expect anything for the go home show before the Hell in a Cell pay per view tonight? It's the go home show because the pay per view is next week. So, no.
Raw's been consistently bad. MVP can't do everything.
That stupid story who gave Drew that idea? Let me tell a story.
Yeah, that promo was, and you know what's crazy? While I was watching it, I texted all you guys. I just said that promo was completely terrible. It was so.
It wasn't even a promo.
It wasn't. It
was better than that.
It was story time. It was so bad.
He's better than that.
Mike, do you expect anything out of the go home show for Raw tonight or no?
I expect there has to be some fireworks. There has to be one more brawl between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. There's got to be that. Some same old, Charlotte thing that's going to be going on. But I'm going to place a gentleman's bet right now on the ratings going up, not just because it's a go-home show, but because of the fact that Eva is coming back, okay? And I'll explain that real quick, because you tune in, especially because you want to hate somebody. You want to watch somebody that you hate fail. So I kind of feel as if, though, she's going to bring in some viewers because she's got a lot of haters that want her to fail. I'm excited to see her. We'll see what happens.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on the inaugural episode of Off the Top Rope. Moving forward, we're going to have more of these shows every single Monday at 7:30 to preview Monday Night Raw, recap SmackDown. I have to discuss with the Hit List contributors and also Backstage Brawl, who I collaborate with on a weekly basis, how I want to book the previews to, Hell in a Cell. Given the fact that this Sunday is Father's Day, and it's beautiful out, it's time to celebrate our fathers. We will not have our regular preview and post shows for Hell in a Cell like we would normally do for every pay-per-view, but we will be back for Money in the Bank. That's a big one because it will be with fans. So I'm looking forward to doing that show live, preview show live, and the post show live for sure. So please make sure you guys continue checking out our content. You guys go enjoy Raw if you're going to go watch it. I know I'm going to be flipping back and forth because we got the NBA playoffs going on right now, and also Monday Night Raw, so I'll be watching both of them.
Hey, listen,
so there's a lot going on.
If it doesn't get enough viewers, we can just go start a change. We can just go online.
I hope so. Listen, man, I'm hoping to get in. Listen, I came this close to getting into Vince's office in 2010. I was this close, so you never know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Carl Coulange here again for Off the Top Rope here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. As I close out, please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all Sports Hit List content. Make sure you check out the Backstage Brawl. You can like, share, comment, subscribe, Sports Hit List on YouTube, Sports HL on Instagram, and also on Facebook. We have our Wednesday live show. Please make sure you check that out at 4 o'clock. of the Sports Hit List. I'll be hosting that show. Thursday is my wife's show, The B Show. And also check out Smoke and Mirror Show, which will go live on Friday at 1 o'clock. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Enjoy Monday Night Raw. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. And I'll see you back next week for Off the Top Rope. Take care.